Welcome back to another video. This will be regarding multi-section surface. So we are currently within CATIA design and we have over here the multi-section. Within this part, as we can see, we already have some profiles. So we have 3 arcs over here. And if I will enable the tool, we can do the transition from one section to another one. So in this case, for example, section 1 will be that one. Section 2, if I'm going to click on preview, we're going to see that surface. So this will do a transition from one profile to another. We can add additional profiles. It is important to have the orientation of the surface well defined. So we see this arrow pointing downwards, this as well. If I would swap those, and if I will, we're going to see give us the following error. So this would lead to a cusp over here. As we can see within the preview, this will be self-intersecting. So keep in mind that you need to pay attention to that surface direction. Okay, so we can also add some spines. We can also add guide curves. For example, if I'm going to add a spine over here, which will be this spline, we're going to see the following profile. So in this case, it's not that obvious, but let me just go within top view and I will create a new spine. We see this spine started exactly from that point. It's not mandatory to have it like that. For example, I will create this one like this. So again, I will go to multi-section from those 3 profiles, and I will also add this as a spine. And we're going to see the orientation over here will be a little bit different. So if I'm going to do the same multi-section without that, that spine over here, we see the profile over here will be following this direction. And with that added spine, it will look like this. You can also update those afterwards. For example, I'm going to change this to be something like this. And afterwards, that surface will be updated. Now, we can also do some multi-sections with different profiles. So I have over here another section. So if I will select that, the following one, this will be the output. And again, I can choose to add a spine, and that will change the curvature. So in this case, guides will also guide that surface. So we can also use for multi-section various elements. For example, we have an STL file over here, and I have the possibility to go within digital shape editor, and I can do a planar sectioning of this. As we can see, so I can define that number of profiles, the step between those, and afterwards I can either have those grouped within one entities or separately, and I have the possibility to redo the model of this claim bottle using sections starting from one profile to another. Keep in mind that in some cases, for example over here, that profile will not be optimal. As you can see over here, we also have the inner section of this bottle as well as the outers of this claim bottle. I also have a video regarding this if you aren't familiar with this design. We can also use imaginary shape. So for example, if I will create over here a sphere, I will add a subdivision, and I will also delete that face. And now if I will go over here and I will create, let's say, a cylinder, I will have this rotated on this axis. So not perfectly rotated, I will move it, and we see that slight offset between those two. And if I want to have those merge, I could do that directly with the imaginary shape. But let's say that I want to define a surface. I have the possibility to go to shape, CATIA shape design, and I can do a multisection between those two. But initially I need to extract the boundary. So in this case, that will be the boundary. For the cylinder, we have the following one. And I can select those two. So we see over here the closing point. We see that direction. If I result like this. So let me just... So it would be recommended to define those closing points over here. So if I will go from this profile, we have closing point 1 at the top. Over here, closing point 1, 2, and I will move it like this. And now we're gonna see that we have that surface defined. Keep in mind that in this case, since this subdivision, I can always go back to this. And if I will move that cylinder, that will update in real time. And this is really handy if you are testing some, let's say, some design prototypes. You can easily use subdivision with imaginary shape and have those defined like that. Additionally, you can use some 3D curves. In this case, I will jump back to imaginary shape. And let's say that I would have that curve and this curve. So that's the first one. Let's create a new one, which will be the following. We see their positioning. So I have the possibility to, since this is a styling curve, if I will go to edit and have it snapped over here, we see that I have the possibility to move that in space like this in 3D. Now, regarding their alignment, they are quite close for that subdivision, so I'm gonna slightly move it. And also move it a little bit inwards, so within that section. Now we have the orientation a little bit better defined. We can also use an imaginary shape surface, but again we can jump back to this one, and we're gonna see the first section, the second one, and we're gonna have that multi-section defined. And again, the main advantage is that we can always go back and we can have this retraced. As we can see, if I want to add some details to that, those will be added. I can also erase them. I can smooth that out. So we see that just by dragging the mouse, I can easily smooth it out. And if I want to add some different profiles, I can do that. And we're going to have the following section defined. Okay, so I hope you find this video useful. I will also create a following video to discuss more elements regarding guides. And we have the coupling options over here. So those will be with a different case study video. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I will position a similar video on the left side, and I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.